move on to the next news. And this one is talking about, it's even away from this accord. It says, Anambra government has banned public display of caskets. The Anambra state government has banned the public display of caskets for fabrication and sales in the state. This was contained in the law passed by the State House of Assembly on Thursday, and of course to control burial and funeral activities in the state. By this law, all mortuary attendants are to report to the Ministry of Health on any corpse that has stayed beyond 1 month from the date it was deposited. The law also warned that any person who contravenes the provisions will be fined 100,000 or 6 months imprisonment or both. It further stipulated that all burial and funeral ceremonies of indigenous deceased persons in the state shall be registered with the town union of the deceased. He advised that this can only be done with permission from the appropriate local government authorities. The law also warned against blocking the streets and roads during burial ceremonies, commenting that the state governor Chukwuma Soludo, in a tense message, commended the assembly for this legislation. I was supposed to discuss this yesterday, and before even discussing it, we had a lot of people saying, now is this the next move? What has people doing burial or corpse or blocking the street or blocking the road, what has it got to do with the cost of living and the situation at hand? But of course, let me hear from
Blossom, that blocking of road, I'm 100%. 100, in fact, 300%
in support.
Yes. Look, it's not only peculiar to Anambra. We need to be reasonable in Nigeria. Because you are doing party, maybe naming ceremony or maybe it's a burial or whatever. Why did you have to block the road? If you know, for you to say you want to do party, you have money. If your compound is not enough, go and get all now. Or go and get a field, well fenced, that you can do your party. Poor people don't do party. Poor people don't do party now. If you know you are rich, you want to do party, get a designated area. I totally agree with that one. I'm a proponent of don't use streets. Somebody wants to go to the hospital, somebody is sleeping gently. Why? So that is the thing. Then second, the issue of caskets. Look, maybe from the point of where Anambra government is coming up is maybe because the way people normally spend unnecessarily and where some certain corps you have them for like 3 years, 4 years and the rest. But there are some certain things that Nigerians should be testing in the law court. Yes, there are some certain
things like what?
Edits, any edits passed by the State House of Assembly or even by local government or by federal government that against the fundamental human rights. We can test it. Somebody in Anambra should go to court and challenge that particular bill in the court of law. Because if I have parents and I decide to embalm it, I'm a Muslim, we don't embalm. But there are some people that embalm for some certain reasons. Some for planning sake. Some for a lot of reasons.
Of course.
You understand now? Some they have some rights they have to do within their family before they can bury their dead. And all those things. So they have to keep it. So automatically, you shouldn't, because you are a government and you want to put, somebody should go to court and challenge it. Then another thing again, the issue of the casket. I don't understand though. Maybe another government want to be selling caskets. They should not display it outside. They should be keeping it inside. But they are going to do their banner outside that there is a casket here. I don't get it. But registration and government to know the death rate and control it, that one I agree with it. It's part of research that they can do. But banning them not to display casket, well, if they cannot display casket, they can put it in a shop and they will make the glass and make the shop transparent for people to see it outside. Because one thing that is there is this, that whether we like it or not, as much as everybody wants to sell markets, so people selling caskets too, they are also praying to God that God should bring business. There is no way. Yes, now.
That kind of prayer is very
but don't worry, whether we like it or not, people must die and some people must be born.
Yes.
And so what is important? But one thing there is that
about the customer aspect.
no, but one thing there is this: whether we like it or not,
Yes.
is a fact. People will die in a day. People will be born in a day. So, but I want Anambra State Assembly to be very, very clear with this bill. They need to explain more things to people, so that they are not going to go against the fundamental rights of people. Is very, very important, because as the Adley Chase will say, we'll bury our dead. So if I want to bury my dead, you are now giving me the time to bury our dead, then in wasting money, that one also is just right there. The kind of country we find ourselves is a secular country. It's not a religious country. If you like, be Catholic. If you like, be Anglican. That does not mean everybody in that state should be Anglican, because I know the fight between Catholicism and Anglican in Anambra. So what is important there is this: the way you do your own in your church is not the way I do my own. I can decide. I said I don't want to bury my dead now, and that is the thing. And from that particular aspect, it is very, very important that we need to state this. That is, one of us is our father. I just late about 11 days ago or thereabout. That is Pa Michael Shopiton, Mr. Shegun's dad, that just died. May God forgive his souls. And one thing that is so certain is this: we may decide and say, okay, in 1 month's time, that's where we want to bury him. Because of some certain things, some people in their own family, maybe they are the head of the family, everybody needs to sit down, and before you could gather people to sit down and discuss, it's very, very important. I want to see what Soludo, the House of Assembly, will on unemployment in Anambra. I want to see the kind of bill they are going to pass on standard of living of every Anambra. I want to see the kind of law they are going to pass on infrastructural facility in Anambra. I want them to see the kind of, I want to see the kind of bill they are going to pass on education for all in Anambra, from primary school down to tertiary level.
You know, I want to even add something. If they really want to go about with this 1 month of a thing, that after 1 month, every mortuary must come to tell them, okay, this comes as past 1 month. You know. Nigerians are this, they have this survival nature. My fear is people will not start keeping corpses.
Possible, no?
Nigerians will always survive, you always find a way around it. But let me quickly hear yours.
I mean, I think Mr. Demiro has addressed most of the issues around this. The key one, the only thing about this legislation that I support is the blocking of road. In fact, I think it didn't go far enough. Because if you look at what the report says,
yes,
they are still saying that only local government
which can approve
blocking of road.
Why
should blocking of road
be approved?
If you want to buy
a road is meant for driving.
It's not meant for party.
You cannot block road. You know, it's bad enough that you are having a party, even event centers where you're having an event. You don't have adequate parking arrangements. Exactly. You now park and block the road, and before you know what's happening, there is long traffic. And sometimes this traffic extends for hours, depending on the location of the event center. All this allows, there are some places around CBD.
Yes, area.
Alausa,
yes.
You know, behind Marwa,
especially on Saturday and Friday.
Those places, I avoid them.
Oregun.
Ajao Road in Nigeria. You know, all those places, there are event centers, and they block the road. You know, it's irresponsible. Government should clamp down heavily, sanction them heavily. No blocking of roads. So that, for me, it did not go far enough. Apart from that, every other thing about this bill is absolute rubbish. With all due respect to them. I just lost my dad. You know, so this hits home. Just like he said, you know, we're Christians. The man was old, he was aged, which means there is no rush.
Yes.
We need to bring all families, stakeholders together in planning how we're going to give him a befitting burial to celebrate the life he lived. You now tell me that I must bury him within 30 days. Why? How is it your business? If I decide I want to bury my father 6 months later, it's my business. So I will pay the mortuary the fees that they will charge me for keeping his corpse there until I'm ready, and that should be the end of it. If you are trying to regulate abandoned corpses, there are other ways of dealing with that. How can you just come up with a regulation that says within 30 days you must not be reporting? To what
my own dead.
I don't feel the regulation should even be when your corpse, like abandoned corpses, when your corpse have stayed this particular time.
We are going to bury it for you.
Exactly. We'll do a mass burial. Maybe after 6 months, so everybody will know that, okay, you can't keep corpses for longer than otherwise. Whatever happens is up to you. Maybe they will say they will cremate or something, you know. But for you to tell me that I must, you know, within 30 days.
My own dead.
So clearly, you know, our politicians get it wrong. They minor in major, they leave cancer, and they are following eczema. I mean, how can the country be in the kind of crisis we're in Anambra State? Just like I said, he has identified the key issues. Why is the assembly not talking about those things? How can we be talking about burial, caskets? Caskets, it's a business. It's just a business like any other. You now tell them they can't display their wares. Why? All you must say is that they must not constitute a nuisance to other members of society. That's all. So this is, I think this guy should go.
No, it can only happen in Anambra.
It's nonsense. They should find something more productive to do with their time.